Hello, good day, all ye. It's the 24th November, CE 2019. I am on the fake book and I'm on the tube, I do believe. If all is well, let me just share the links, check all the usual, and then we'll get cracking on. Good day, good rising. Let me navigate to where I need to be. 1 second, fam. So I've gone live on Facebook. I should be in the fundraiser there, and I'm on Indiglo on my channel on Tube. All right, I've got some news to bring to you. Yes, I just want to post this into the .com. I'll get into the chat room. Bonjour and ciao. This is again news that we shouldn't be covering. North, east, west, south. Stories for the omegas, for the ladies. Typical of the energies that we see around. Typical, indicative of the times, of the male environment. I'm going to France straight away, where we're going to splash down for an important topic that's brought to attention. If you search on your local, let me think, generic search engine and search for women in France awareness, domestic violence, you'll find stories like I have dated 19-ish of November. Women in France work to raise awareness about domestic violence. Femme Bap 2, what was it now? Let me just get the links up and open up the .com, and I'm going to have half hour, an hour with you. And we'll see what go on. So if you're interested in where we're going to, the topics we're talking about, women in France are going to raise awareness about domestic violence, and I'm looking at how the news are reporting what happens with women in France, how they're reluctant to report, violence from the husband, partners, common law man and wife, etc. And they isolate themselves for one, causing further harm, injury, and stress. The thumbnail on Tube, you will see there's a thumbnail there of young, sired sons and daughters, man's future, ultimately, born crowned by the mum, the female, Omega, the mother of God, so to speak, the image of. And women in France are registering complaints. Facebook, Tube, I'll say that again. Women in France register a complaint with regards to domestic violence. Well, shout out to France, Italia having some issues. Any other nation, landmass, family, clan, initiate tribe of Omegas that are feeling oppressed, what's the word, isolated, and they're not getting anywhere. Well, it seems that here in 2019, in Anglo territory, terra firma, we have quite a kerfuffle going off with the London town and the imposement there of London city within, and what's going off with the corporate dictatorate finance, or dictatorate finance, commercial, maritime, admiralty, UCC, boat people on the land. And we thought we had it bad. Well, we have. There's no doubt about that. Just turn on the news and have a look at the stories they're giving you. That women that are reporting, common law assault, battery, so forth, are not having their crimes. That's what they are, I'm afraid. They're not complaints, and they're not to be registered. Registering a complaint, I just don't Adam and Eve it, so I won't get angry. I'll remain calm. I'm going to bring you some feeds here, so please share this. You think it's worth a share around the Facebook realm. Let me just check. We got 5 on the chat on the Tube then. All right, I'm onto the live chat there. You can ask me questions on either of the platforms. You put your comments on. I just need to quickly go off Tube a minute. I will be back. Just bear with me while I get some code to log in. 1 second, and we're gonna sort this out good and proper. All right. Sorry about that. Facebook, I am back. Hello there. Security on my phone. I need authentication factor. It's absolutely ridiculous what you have to do to stay secure. You can't stay secure now. We have the quantum evolution. We're outgunned there, so don't bother trying, I'd say, in some respects. But yes, here we go. I'm a little bit behind. It's Sunday. I'm due in at 10 p.m. tonight for commercial duties. I've been up since silly o'clock. I've answered some emails. I'm arranging hangouts for this week. Catching up with who I need to catch up with. And yes, I want to talk to you about, I am shocked and stunned that the female sistars of our family in France, as far as I've heard on Euronews this morning, are registering complaints for domestic crimes against them. I am sickened. If that's what's going down, they're saying on the news that the police need to be trained in order to deal with this. Now, excuse me, how long has common law infractions of harm, injury, loss, common assault been happening? Hundreds of thousands of years. Well, apparently we're only 5,000 years established, but, you know, whichever way you cut it, thousands of years man has been in this position where we've been violently oppressed and attacked, subjugated, subrogated, convert to Christianity or die by the sword. This is nothing new. And so the French police, a rank and file officer, you know, as it's claimed on Euronews today, are unsure of how to proceed with regards to crimes that women are reporting. Deaths on an annum are about 120 to 150 between Italy and French sisters there. If you think this is, you know, disturbing, then I'd like to hear your comments. Your input is valued and important. So this is what we do. Facebook. That's why I'm dedicating some time today. If you'd like to search, you know, the independent news stories there, I found it on Euronews. I dare say Rupley, RT, Reuters, and other such C-SPAN will have these kind of, you know, stories on them. French women are registering complaints for domestic crimes brought to them against it's just disgusting, and the police aren't registering them complaints. The women are isolating themselves, killing themselves, and getting oppressed and beat even further in 2019. I am appalled and disgusted by this. I'll leave that with you a minute while I tell the .com we are saying hello, bonjour, to the international fam. Everything's updated and changed again, I see. Very nice. Okay. This was an unplanned cast, all right, because I was just sickened this morning, 7 a.m, when I was doing some admin, sat quietly, just waking up with a mug of coffee. I heard this going off. And I thought, well, I've had a chat on the .com yesterday for an hour. I had a chat with Matthew for an hour with you. That was interesting, and bless him for what he says and how he feels. I can hear what he'd said now about the Italian, French and sisters around the realm that are having, you know, these crimes against them ignored. Tret as it's a bit like when we go down the CEO, CFO, etc. routes, and we authorise and wish and require, and they pass it on to the complaints. This is the management of, you know, to the ladies that are no longer with us. We're going to take a moment now before I get carried away. For the ones that are dead by, you know, no longer with us, passed on. Energy doesn't die. These souls, all of the murdered female omegas. I'm going to say a little prayer for you now that have passed. Any family. You know, I'm nobody special. I'm just a little idiot called David that's got an opinion, if you want to know. And I'm going to voice my opinion. If you agree, a thumbs up, a share, an embed, a comment. If you don't agree, let me know and give me your grumble. Here we go. This is not my work. It's just a thumbnail from the YouTube video entitled "We Do Not Die" in relation to energy and the situation at hand here. And then after this, we'll have a moment. And then I'm going to read you some of the stories on the interweb right now. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on the snow. I am the sunlight of the ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awake in the morning hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of singing birds in circled flight. I am the stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. Right, so that was a little homage, some kind of positive intent message there. Ones that are gone aren't gone. Said that to my queen here, Anne-Marie, about her late father. You know, he's within her. He carries on in the bloodline. So, first page, women in France work to raise awareness about domestic violence. Enormous posters condemning violence against women line walls throughout major French cities. The young activists putting up the signs have said they are hoping to spread awareness about the violence in France. The goal is to inform about femicides, and we do this to honour all victims of femicide. I didn't know it was called femicide, there you go. And that all female victims of violence speak out and feel supported. One of the activists, Camille, has told Euronews, the French government has been consulting on domestic violence solutions. Okay? What else have they been doing? More than 130 women have been killed by a partner this year in 2018. There were 121 additional femicides in France. So that's 151 Omegas, French ones, that are no longer with us because of the realm that we're in, this devil, demonic realm where males are killing the females. I'm not saying that women aren't killing men, but that's not the point at the moment, you know. The point is what I've been awoken to today and what I felt I wanted to have a chat with you about while I'm doing some admin and catching up. Experts say many women find it difficult to come forward and report situations of domestic abuse. Women suffered domestic abuse for years before coming forward, and they finally decide to report the violence after a brutal attack. Generally we find it takes a brutal, horrific, life-threatening attack before they actually do anything. You know, generally it will say like in early mornings the partner will jump onto the lady partner, go into the children's room, pulling hair, throwing them around the house, on coffee tables, up walls, strangling them, children, assets, sons and daughters being present, and shouting things like, "Don't kill mummy, don't kill my mummy." Okay. In France, reporting doesn't always work. No, well, claim, that's right. Reporting, that's boat people talk, all right. Re and port-ing. You are reporting in. I'm not being critical here. I know this is a sensitive subject. You would go in and you'd lay claim. You'd lay claim in all areas of law, in all countries. That's how I would assess how we get around this. I'm not offering to represent female women's of domestic violence in French waters, lands, waters even, on lands, and it's Italy, but we can get the message out. Facebook is used as a messaging tool, all right, other than it's stealing your data and marketing adverts at you, rendering you to your weak points. Let's use it for what it's worth here. At least 1/3 of women killed in 2018 had previously filed a complaint with the police, according to a report. That was by Le Monde newspaper I made notes of. In all police academies in France, victim support associations, specialists, forensic doctors, judicial authorities are involved to train all police officers to listen to the needs of these very specific victims, said Marion, I think it was Tommy, a police chief in Lyon, Lyon, France, not Lion. There is a cause for hope, apparently, though. A cause for hope. Hear that, eh? Police say there's been an increase in incident reporting, a development that indicates more women are comfortable. Really? What did I put here? Where's my notes? The more women are comfortable coming towards the police forward, like to report the violence. Men, you don't beat up your woman. Simple as. Man beating up woman, woman beating up man. I don't know, anything else other than to say, where is the love? There is none. I'm moving on. I'm keeping the theme. Then I'll go to the comments on both platforms, all right? So bear with me while I just keep going. I've got some data for you here. This is Europe now. There's a huge resistance. Europe's problem with violence against women. And we've got still some notes I've made from Euro News. The 131st femicide in France, 131. My numbers again, okay? I'm not just, see what I mean? 1 and 3 and 1. I know it's not the triple 1-3, but it's close enough to give me a slap in the face this morning and say, okay, you obviously want me to talk about this. You've given, as tedious as it is, 131st femicide in France was met with outrage in the country as the victim's daughter spoke about witnessing her mother's murder. Okay, if there is any little ones in the room, assets, sons and daughters, yes, turn it down, put some headphones in. I have age restricted on tube and done the necessary legal requirements there. Book of fakeness, if you'd like to bear in mind the topic here. I'm trying to do this with love and intent. I have no intention of upsetting any family on this day, the Sunday, so please, be wary of who's around and what I'm talking about. Mums and dads' little ears are everywhere, all right? I don't take pleasure in this. It's not my wish to wake up. I've got enough jobs to be doing. I've got enough energy outlay. This takes quite a lot. I haven't planned it. I'm just going with the flow, and I'd like to get your feedback. Outrage in the country as the victim's daughter spoke about witnessing her mother's demise. I'll be specific with the words, look, so I'll try and make it easier. They had been together for 3 or 4 years. It's been 3 to 4 years that she's been beaten up. She never wanted to talk about it out of fear. Stella, the victim's daughter, said in an interview with a local radio station in eastern France, the young woman said that she arrived too late to the scene and witnessed her mother, Sylvia, last moments. God bless you, Sylvia. As the 40-year-old woman's boyfriend allegedly bludgeoned to death. All right, it says something else, but I'm just bearing in mind where we are. It's all well and good to file a complaint, but it doesn't help, Stella said. That's right. That is right. It doesn't help, fam. Complaints don't help. Claims help. The officers, Metropolitan, France, England, Rome, United Kingdom, England and Wales, they all know this. But what they don't do is tell you. So if you don't know on how to do something, even if you're a woman and you've been battered and you're in a I'm sorry, but you're in a life-saving situation, it doesn't matter. You see what I mean? Others would gladly do this and will and are and tell you, but it's just not right at all. It's horrible. Stella said, recounting the steps her mother took to alert authorities before she passed away. Stella said the police arrived too late. Just 2 days prior, a 34-year-old woman died in somewhere in France. It was like Levallois, Perret, a suburb of Paris. She was strangled by her partner the day after Sylvia's demise. A mother of 3 was strangled by her ex, according to reports in Le Parisien. Sorry for if you have made it to France and you're hearing my Anglo terrible pronunciation. I do apologise, mon ami. It comes as the conversation about the violence to women has been brought to the forefront of the country's political debate. All right, with the government in the midst of consultations on the topic. So really, this should have been done day one, 101 law basic, all right? When you set up a nation, a country, etc., then you shouldn't be doing this now, and you shouldn't be scrambling to fix administrative, arbitrary, public, secular penal code that is not in, women and your rights. We love you all. each and every one of you, all shapes, all colours, all sizes, all continents, sisters. I'm sorry about this. The debate is set to end on the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and that will be on November the 25th. And tomorrow, it's the 24th today, the 11th, 2019, all right. And Euronews will be covering domestic violence and violence against women, they did say, in a series of stories on the topic this week. Because I'm not endorsing that channel, I'm not sponsored by it, but I do look at it. It was one of my 10 media outlets for bits of information. So, there you go. A global phenomenon by the numbers. I like my numbers and what the numbers mean and how we go. Hello to the 3 on the Book of Faces and the 9 on Tube. Yeah. An estimated 35% of women worldwide, around 1 in 3 women, have experienced domestic or other violence, bedroom violence. It's a percentage that many experts find staggering, saying it reveals a global crisis of violence against women. I find it very sad that in every society we have violence against women. In every society, said, I think she was called Marceline Naudi, the president of the Council of Europe's group of experts on action against violence against women and domestic violence. What? Yes, I'll say that again. The president of the Council of Europe's group of experts on action against violence against women and domestic violence. If you'd like to abbreviate that, GREVIO, Grevio. Wow, there shouldn't even be a need for that. Look, just I don't think that we can say some societies are worse than others, because sadly, that 1 in 3, 1 in 4 statistic holds almost everywhere around the realm, she's added. Let me just get the other page up of, I need to do something else as well, and quickly nip onto SPL's Pro Facebook while we are here, on my profile. And then after I've read all the news and the stories, I will look at your comments and see what go on. I'll get off Facebook first, and then I'll come to Tube and see what go on. All right, so just bear with me while I load up other pages. If you've got anything to say, let me know. Give me your thoughts and feelings. I am aware this is a sensitive subject. I am dealing with quite a few that have, suffered, been at the hands of victims, etc. That's why we have the SPLspro.com Anglo Emergency Fundraiser. I've come onto Facebook today just to go live in this fundraiser, as well as being on Tube, to give you an update, give you a chance to say hello, what go on, etc. And to say thank you, Nick Stone, I think it was Flatboy, Mark, yes, much love to you. I'm going to give this a share from the group that I'm in now, and then I'll get back to the data. I've got some numbers for you. There we go. It's a percentage that many experts find staggering, saying it reveals a global crisis of violence against women. I find it very sad that in every society we have violence against our women. In every society, said Marceline Naudi, the president of that Grevio. So I don't think that we can say some societies are worse than others, because that 1 in 4 is held everywhere. And there was a lady called Evelyn Regner, the chair of the European Parliament's Committee on Women's Rights and Gender Equality. She said the figure was incredible, if I remember how she said it. One of the out of 3, it might even be higher, because a lot of experiences are not reported, she said. Well done. Yes, it is higher. It's more than 1 in 3. Many women have recently protested, citing numbers of reported femicides, the killing of women on account of gender. 58% of the 87,000 women internationally killed in 2017 were killed by intimate partners or family members, according to the United Nations. More than third of women internationally killed, now this isn't just France and Italy, were killed by a former or current intimate partner. Okay, that's what they're telling us. While the vast majority of um, homicide, death, related victims there are men killed by strangers, women are far more likely to die at the hands of someone they know. Written Yuri Fedotov, the executive director of the UN Office on Drugs and Crime. The highest numbers of femicides are in Africa, and the lowest rate is in Europe, where 0.7 women were killed per 100,000 by a partner or family member. Few Europe-wide statistics on the topic. The percentages of women who say they have experienced violence are even higher in Eastern and Southeastern European countries, where 70% of women say they've experienced some form of violence since turning 15. 45% of women interviewed said they experienced at least one form of bedroom harassment, and 21% said they experienced physical or bedroom or psychological violence during childhood. The survey released by the EU's External Action Service highlighted violence against women in Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, Moldova and Ukraine. I'm going on to the Ukraine about Holodomor, about the 86th anniversary since Stalin tried to, was it Stalin, I believe so, tried to kill a nation, the Ukraine, the fourth Saturday of the month every year. If you look at that now, you'll get up to where I'm going for. The survey is one of the few comprehensive studies on the topic you'll find, and that was by EU's External Action Service. The last EU-wide survey was undertaken in 2014, in which the European Agency for Fundamental Rights surveyed 42,000 women across the Eastern Bloc. Across the bloc, sorry, it just says bloc in my notes. The survey echoed global figures stating that 1 in 3 women in the EU had experienced some form of physical and or bedroom assault since the age of 15. What then emerges, my famalan, is a picture of extensive abuse that affects many women's lives, but is systemically underreported to the authorities and refused to be dealt with. The way that they handle it and the way that they ignore it is unforgivable. It is disgusting and it is contrived and it's a crime in itself. The scale of violence against women is therefore not reflected by official data. It's fraudulent there. It's just rubbish, pish. The agency wrote in a statement, states should be more vigilant in collecting data and sharing this so we can have more accurate understanding about how sick the men, about the scale of the problem, said Alexander Patterslides, a lawyer and a program officer at NGO Equality Now. What else? This requires a better system of data collection to the availability of quantum AI 5G, availability of more disaggregated, what have I put here? Disaggregated data and information sharing among different agencies and duty bearers to ensure no one falls through the cracks. A changing conversation. 2017, dozens of women accused Harvey Weinstein, an American film producer, of sexual harassment, assault or rape. Look who's in the stories again at the minute. We got the royal monarchy going through now and having investigations going off. Another thing pointing to me to bring this to you and to bring the ladies out there. If you're a woman and you're watching this, please share it with women in your family, your sisters, and put it on wherever you think it would be important. These numbers are disgusting. These numbers are accurate. These numbers are from your number brother David, and I'm here for you, sisters. I'm here for everybody. I'm not here for myself. I'm here to do what I'm instructed and told to do, and this is just sickening. Harvey Weinstein, an American film producer, sexual harassment, rape, the resulting reporting released in the New York Times and New Yorker soon became a viral movement of which you're all aware of. All over the world, women have recently demonstrated over femicide rates, domestic violence. Hundreds of women staged a die in Paris last month, and thousands of women in Madrid protested after a group of men were acquitted after gang teenager gang annoying raping a teenager. The numbers of reported incidents have been going up, which experts say is a positive development. Well, they would do. That's not my words. In terms of numbers, what we can say is that although reports in relation to violence against women are going up, generally this normally indicates that women are more ready to come out and to say they don't deserve this kind of treatment. Men shouldn't be committing this. There is no excuse. I'm going to leave it there, all right. Spain, Finland and France all lack legal recognition that sexual intercourse without consent is rape, all right. Spain, Finland and France all lack legal recognition. What? Can you Adam and Eve it? That sex without consent is rape, requiring rape survivors to prove they were subjected to violence or threat or that they resisted their attacker is contrary to international human rights standards, all right? That's all I'm going to say there. I cannot, you couldn't make this up, all right? You could not make this up. So you've got something here in Hungary, because my queen Anna Maria comes from Magyar. What I found here for my Magyar sisters, I'm trying to cover as much as I can and show you this this disgusting spreading of what it is, institutionalized abuse of the female by the legal male system. Eureka Rena was attacked and drugged and mutilated by a former lover in March 13. The criminal procedure dragged on for 6 years, and the young Hungarian told the news, Euronews, it was an ordeal. They treated me like scenery. I was an object in my own case. I only had duties, an obligation to testify, to tell the truth, and meanwhile the legal system was not at all interested in me as a human being, she said. Rena is not an isolated case. Every fifth Hungarian woman lives in a physically abusive relationship, it says here, according to 2018 data compiled by Women for Women Against Violence, an NGO. You see, women's rights groups have repeatedly demanded their government take urgent action against domestic violence, starting with the ratification of the Istanbul Convention Against Violence Against Women and Domestic Violence. Would you believe it? If you'd care to search for what they're quoting here, this is not me endorsing it. This is just something in a story that the women's rights have repeatedly demanded from their government to take urgent action against domestic violence, starting with the ratification of the Istanbul Convention Against Violence Against Women and Domestic Violence. There are other ways you can do that, but that's certainly a start. According to Judith Worth, head of NAN, that's NAN, a women's rights group, one key problem is that Hungarian police, rank and file officers and justice staff are not sufficiently prepared to deal with domestic violence cases. Are you seeing a pattern here? Are we seeing a pattern in this, my family? Okay. The fight against violence on women is a profession in itself. This is what we're here for. This is one of my main aims. I was a victim. My mother was a victim. It didn't get recognized in the late 80s, so it isn't for pots of gold. It isn't because we think we're better. It isn't because we don't want to pay. It's because this realm is disgusting, the legal codes and what's going off here. There is no excuse. There is no excuse here at all in any continent. We should have certain international levels. The fight against violence on women is a profession in itself, said that. In recent years, the Conservative government has been reluctant to work with women NGOs, claiming their ideology is against the interest of the Hungarian state. Wow. Just wow. All right, I continue on. We have more. I mentioned that Ukraine, Holodomor, Ukrainians remember the famine that killed millions in Soviet Ukraine. This hit me this morning. and it was 1932 to 1933. Just a year that was, it's interesting in itself as you can put together that era. And I wanted to give a little shout out to this famine that most historians consider was, provoked by the repressive policies, Soviet policies, we'll say. It hit the class, the lower class peasants, if you like, not my words, in Soviet Ukraine and some regions of Soviet Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstani, Borat. Hello, I am from Kazakhstan. You know that man and Ali G and all this. Well, here we go. Joseph Stalin, so-called collectivization program, forced the land inhabitants to give up their land and property. Okay, forced them to. The wealthiest were deported, and collective farms were formed to take over the running of the land. Ukraine honours the memory of the innocent victims of Holodomor, Soviet kind of genocide against the Ukrainian people in 1932 to 1933. It's linked on here, all right, with the theme. We will never, the world, the realm will never forget this horrific tragedy. The policy led to agriculture production drops and food shortages. Food requisitions by the state from collective farms and household followed, which led to people being starved to death. Besides the famine of 32 to 33, Ukrainians, from what I've heard this morning, also suffered, well, they didn't allow, I'm speaking it easier, but they also had upon them from other famines between 1921 and 1923 as well, 1946 to 47. Holodomor often refers to those periods too. It's derived from two Ukrainian words. I've had good research on this. HOLOD, so holod, hunger, and more, extermination. So interesting word. I'd like Josh to break that down with us later on in the week. Holod and more, so hunger, extermination. How many people's died, David? I've had a look, and historians cannot fully agree on this, all right, but estimates range from almost 2 million to almost as many as 10 million souls. But most scholars, and what I can find, both from Ukraine and international academics and scholars, have put the figure 3 to 3.9 million. They haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Deaths in the Ukraine, with between 5.5 and 8 million people estimated to have perished across the USSR, as it was then. If you remember the is it hammer and anvil thingy that as a whole back then. Was it genocide, David? Well, I'm not claiming anything. I'm bringing you what I found out when I'm looking at the women and the oppression and the beating and the fact that these complaints that are registered are not getting anywhere. The question divides researchers too. Many historians believe that this was a genocide against Ukraine as a nation due to the number of political decrees aimed specifically at the Ukrainian, they call them peasants to be fair, lower working class. Letters exchanged between Communist Party leaders reveal that at the time they were worried about Ukrainian mans rebelling against the agricultural policy. After the crop confiscations, all right, special raids were organised to retrieve any hidden food supplies in the house. What does this sound like, eh? In the households, while a travel ban was also put in place for Ukrainians, preventing them from searching for food elsewhere. Other scholars argue that mass famine was a result of political decisions. Okay, Brexit fam. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just we prophesize to know because we look at history. It's not that we're magicians or magi or think we just study. We look, we research, and we see patterns. That's what we're good at. That's all I'm saying. A lot of Ukrainians lived in villages and worked on very fertile black soil. They suffered the most. Some of the historians even accused the West of helping to provoke the mass famine by causing the price of grain crops to drop. That's just disgusting in itself. All right, I'm going to leave it there. That could go on for a long time, but I have other duties to do today. And that's it. I've caught up there. Let's go to the Facebook and say hello. My sisters, Anna Maria, Kathy, Brother John, Kay, Langston, Dean, Holly. Ladies, please share. Oh wow, everyone's in there, look. Anna Maria. What? Yanka is good to see. Hi, replying to Yanka. Oh, I. Yes, well, she's a princess. It's for you when you grow up, Yanka. It's for everybody. It's for all the queens, the princesses. It's for those horrible men that don't seem to understand that women are not to be beaten. They're to be loved, and they are the queens, the true, important force in the realm. Mother Nature, Mother's tongue. What they do for us, um, we could never repay. Carrying us around in their womb, there's nothing like a mother's love, and we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to say bye to Facebook, and thank you very much for all of the interaction. Please plaster this around Facebook. Get the numbers. It's not about SPLs. It's not about David. It's about you, your rights. France, Italy, everywhere. It's getting worse. So we'll say bye to Facebook. Thank you. Ciao, bello. I'll see you soon. This is just to let you know why I've one of the reasons, not why, we have the SPL's Facebook Anglo emergency fundraiser this time of year. We get a lot put on us, and there you go. If you want to know what's happening, just take a look around. We can only help one another to some extent. All right. So much love to you, FB. I'll be back soon. Watch for the updates periodically, and hangouts next week. Myself and Kev yet to go live. DWP interaction and update. I'm looking at Wednesday this week. Is it about the 27th? Maybe hanging out with Brother Santos and Samfu, and that'll do. That'll ding dang do. Ciao, bello. Much love. Hello to Kev, who's just popped in on FB, and we'll see you all very, very soon. All right. Ciao. Be good. Stay self-governing. Right, that's FP gone. That's them updated. I don't like them to feel left out. Shanka. What we saying then, Tube? Just me and thee. Let me get onto the screen. What did you think of that? I'm interested in your comments. I hope there's some sisters with some input there. Disgusted. I feel sick. I really do. Quinn, Molly, Jerry. A failed asylum seeker who played football with a county team here, guilty of gang rape on child, given the option to self-deport or 3 year in prison. Lost for words, Jerry. Lost for words. It shouldn't be upon the state or the CPS or to decide that. It should be upon the ones that have suffered, allowed. No, the ones that have had inflicted upon them the harm. Ones that have lost. So, sure, disgusting. That's all I'll say. Moving on. Quinn, noted. But it's our job, in some ways, to sort this out as best we can. And if they can't be trusted and they breach the trust, and there's only one thing to do, and that's to move them somewhere else, I believe judgment will come later. But you're all entitled to your opinion, and I respect that, and that's why I'm here. I want it. I want to hear. The children, yeah, that's right. I see that Amy has popped in. I don't know what's going on here, but as I've said, Andy and I are no longer walking the path together, so I shall remove the moderator. I don't know what's going on with the claims here. Yes, I will remove that and hide user on the channel. I am sorry to do that, but it's not my doing. I'll leave those screenshots there for the claims that have been made. I have collected those. We'll move on. That's all I'll say. I'm sorry about that, fam. You won't be seeing them on the channel. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit disappointed in that and what's gone off. So I'm not going to. Get into that. We're going to carry on with the thread and stick to the point, all right, my fam. Jerry, true brother, the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. Indeed, indeedy. Let me just refresh my screen. My chat seems to have slowed down. Hello to the 12. Thank you to the 4. Thumb up. Here we go. I hope you're all good, feeling strong, bless, no stress. Oh yes. Remember the mantra. Remember. Right then, live chat. Here we go, we're back. Let me scroll back up. Molly, Jerry, there we go. Quinn, Jerry. Imira's gone, and so is that lady commonly known as Shona. I've no need for those energies at this moment in time. And yes, all shall be revealed. It will be indeed, yes. Very cryptic there, Jemima, but I like it. Look at this. I'd like you to make notes, my good fam. Anything that gets publicly put out, claims, threats. This is how it is when you come out there and you try to do good. We shall see. We shall see. The good Lord protect me, the spirits, the angels, the numbers, the intent, and we move on. I've suffered lots of attacks and threats across my time, and this channel is not somewhere to publicly fight or, lay claim. We do that in the private. Thank you, Molly. Let's get rid of Jemima as well, because I don't know what's going on there. I'll report that one as you do. All right. We'll put that one and go for there. Okay. What else have we got, fam? Are you all good? Have you got anything you want to bring to me? Any updates, any news, any praise, any grumble? What about the topic there? The threats, the state of play? I just can't Adam and Eve it. I really can't. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Cha-cha. Well, there might have been an altercation in public, no problem. Altercations are altercations. That's I'm sure that happens every day. There we go. Bonjour, ciao, amiga, French and sisters, Italiano. We are all good. Some claims. It's a good place to make them. You can do whatever you want. It's a free world. It is a free world. Has anybody got anything constructive to say? What? Are we all good? I got to, like I say, touch base, finalise with Kev when we'll do the private cast for the updates for DWP, admins, agency, entitlement, benefits, and what's gone on there. I've seen that on the Facebook. I'm just scrolling down the Facebook family that is put. We'd like to get together. Let me see here. Bosh, let me go and check those, and I'll let you know, Tube, this week. We're likely doing that Wednesday. Might be on the night time already busy, but if I can get this week in the daytime and touch base, hang out with Brother K, then we shall do so. I can't wait for that. Graham and Kev have been busy getting their heads together. And I did see a post. Let's have a look. I'm scrolling down now. Got some nice pictures there. Thank you for them. I see a new YouTube video, an older code. Somebody shared a link. Looks like Justinian Deception, Glossa. Here we go. A lot going on here. We're very busy everywhere. Come on, why is it so slow? Let's have it. Here we go. A couple of announcements for you. If anybody knows of or is in the process of making a claim for ESA or PIP and haven't filed, aka submitted their paperwork yet, please contact us ASAP. We have adding another angle to our response, and we need some what we've got, claimants at the start of the process. This could well be another game changer. David and I are planning to go live with a Q&A DWP session. That was tomorrow afternoon, he put, but that didn't go ahead. We are aware that current situations, commitments are calling the shots. I'm sure the video will be posted for you to review at your leisure, and if you need. I would be happy to maybe do another broadcast during an event, an evening, sorry, if that would help. The best time I can give you, 2 p.m.ish we're going to start, and then we'll post the update, so the day is to be confirmed. Thank you, Kev. We will get straight on that, no problemo. What I want to ask is, I'm not sure who Jemima is, and yes, I don't really want them on the channel. That's my decision. I'm sure I know who they are. Jerry, I don't mean to get personal and whatnot, but there you go. We'll continue on. I thought they were asking about the hearing. I've already brought the hearing out. There you go. Right then, I'm going to go and continue on. I've got a couple of calls to make and a few more bits of admin, some emails to look at, check for messages from Brother Santos, have a look at the hydrogen possibilities, health benefits for next year. And then we will update throughout this week accordingly, and I will see you in the usual places, my family and scribes, initiates. Thank you for the viewing, input and chat. Truly unique cast today. I'll see you through the emails, the .com, the messages, etc. Peace and love, one and all. I will say ciao bello, stay mellow, and we will see you soon, button moon. Thank you. Ciao.